Hey everyone, my name is Cody.
And my name's Elaine.
And we are the owners of Reckless Media and the hosts of Cryptids Across the Atlas.
We are super excited because this is our first year at ARKAST Podcast Festival, and we are really excited to network and connect with a bunch of different people in this space.
Yeah, so like she was saying, this is our first time, but we are Arkansas natives, born and raised. We both grew up not too far from where we are sitting right here. We even have a local business hosted just across the street. But our primary line of work is what we do, what everyone's coming together for right here, and that's podcasting. Reckless Media is a podcast production company. We specialize in helping businesses primarily, but really anyone, take a Zoom call, a conversation, whatever it happens to be, and chop that up and use it not only as a podcast, but a YouTube video, social clips, short form video to really reach that organic market. We want things to be as simple for you, if you're listening to this, as it can be. And especially we target and really like to help out businesses who may not have the time to learn some of the more intricate parts of podcasting. I also personally am a huge advocate for sharing as much information about the space as we can. Historically, there's been a lot of gatekeeping in podcasting, and I think that this information should be out there and available for people to get started and to figure out about this amazing medium to share their voice and their story.
So for Reckless Media, we offer a variety of resources everywhere from podcast editing, like Cody was saying, and social media, all of that, but we also do newsletters and even things like Pinterest and
blog writing.
Yeah, blog writing.
Elaine's our writer, by the way.
Yes, we kind of, for Reckless Media, he takes on most of the audio and video editing, like long form content, and then I'm more of the copy, text, all that social media person. But I do understand a little bit of audio and video as well.
We have a good dynamic going,
Yes.
So it works out for us. We are also the hosts of a wild little podcast and YouTube channel called Cryptids Across the Atlas. Yes, cryptid creatures, those things that may or may not be real and go bump in the night. We specialize in talking about the sightings and events that have happened through history, through the lens of history, to help educate the audience on, how our folk tales and beliefs shape the way we think in the culture around us. It's a really fun little show if you want to check it out as well, and you like fun, slightly scary stories. So, but yeah, I've been in the podcasting space this is my 10th year producing podcasts, which is wild to think about. I got my start back whenever churches everywhere were deciding, hey, we need to have podcasts, and I was a pastor at the time and went into that full speed. Back when I think Buzzsprout had just hit the scene and Libsyn was still, I'm not going to talk about Libsyn, but they were still around. And and so Elaine has been writing professionally for, I think this is her 7th year.
Mm-hmm.
So
I started blogging in 2011, and it was just a personal blog, just sharing my thoughts and ideas about literally anything. I had no idea what SEO was, and my website was terrible. It was still like .wordpress.com. I had no idea what I was doing, but I had a passion for writing, and then it just kind of blossomed into, as we started Reckless Media. Really how we started Reckless Media was a friend had her podcast, and she was like, hey, so I hate writing, you love writing, can you write my show notes? And then it just kind of blossomed from there.
They found out that I did video and audio work, and man, it's amazing how fast you get recruited for other things people don't want to do. That was 2018. Reckless Media's been around since 2018, and it's still a lot of fun. It's still, I love growing with it. I love seeing the direction podcasting is going. I love that the medium is continuing to grow and evolve and push into even new mediums outside of just audio. And it's a fun opportunity to get to let people share their voice. And I love what ARKAST, what we're doing here, because it is quite literally an opportunity to educate people to use their voice. But anyway, guys, if you have any questions for us, like I said, Reckless Media, you can find us on all the major platforms. You can hit us up. We'll throw some, wherever this is at, we'll throw some links. I don't know where all this is going, and cool. But we'll make sure you can find us somewhere.
Yes.
Once again, I'm Cody.
And I'm Elaine.
And it's been great talking with you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Irvin Camacho, or Irvin Camacho, if you want to pronounce it in Spanish. And I'm here with the District 3 podcast, and I'm also a board member with the organization that has started this event about a year ago. And we're just excited to be here and to learn from other individuals that are in podcasting, because I could feel like you never stop learning. There's a lot of individuals that have other experiences and they can teach you something. So I definitely recommend this event. If it's not this year that you attended, come next year. And I'm also accompanied by my co-host, Miguel.
Hi, they call me Migs, and I am here to learn everything I can and soak up everything like a sponge. I'm new to the podcast world. Mr. Irvin just brought me on the District 3 podcast, like, we'll say 2 months to make it sound legit, but probably less than that.
A month and a week, but 2 weeks is good. 2 months is good.
Yeah, but anyway, apparently this event's perfect for me, and I'll have to find out why.
Check it out. So make sure that you show up next year whenever the podcast convention happens. Probably be here at the Innovation Hub, but if it isn't, just look out on Instagram, follow the page, Arkansas ARKAST. Actually, look up ARKAST, and you'll find us on Facebook and on Instagram. And if you want to look at the podcast as well, District 3 Podcast, available on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Follow us.
Yeah.
So what's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Nicole. My name is Latonya, but I go by Nicole, and I'm from Rolton.
Okay.
Where are you from?
How'd you get into podcasting?
So I've always loved to talk to people. One night I couldn't sleep, and so I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to try podcasting. And it started off therapeutic. My first episode kind of blew up in my city, and so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this out, and it's been going good ever since.
That's cool.
What about you?
I got into podcasting in 2005.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's good.
I'm fresh. I just started in January.
Yeah. Oh, cool. That's cool. What's your podcast called?
It's called Nicole Please, and I discuss a lot of childhood traumas, a lot of quick backstory. I became a mom at a very young age, and so I'm just now learning how to be, kind of discovering who I am. I've been a mom since I was 15, so I kind of talk about navigating through learning who you are at 34.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of challenges.
It is a lot of absolutely. Yeah. I'm like, oh, what do I like to do? I do like being outside. I do like plants. So it's definitely been a journey for me, for sure.
Yeah. My name's Tim Street.
Okay.
And I used to be a television producer.
Wow.
I produced I was one of the producers of a show called What Would You Do on Nickelodeon. Mm-hmm. And I was a producer on another show called All That.
Okay.
Which you might have been familiar with. Yeah. So fun shows. And, I've done work for all the studios, Disney, Paramount, 20th Century Fox. So I've created a lot of short programming stuff. For the most part, people don't remember. People in my generation would remember a show called Schoolhouse Rock. I watched that show as a kid. And then when I moved to Hollywood, I started working on a show called Crazy Careers, which was similar to Schoolhouse Rock, but it was about weird jobs.
Yeah.
Beekeeper, underwater welder,
okay.
Stuff like that. High-rise window washer. And I got into short programming, started doing a lot of stuff for cable networks, and then got into podcasting in 2005.
Okay.
And have been there ever since. And now I sign people to deals. So instead of producing,
That's intriguing.
I sign people to sponsorship deals.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I work with a company called Authentic. It's owned by a company called PodTrack. And if you are a numbers person and you're interested in knowing, how big publishers, what kind of downloads they get, you can go to podtrack.com and see that information. They've opted into sharing that info for free, so you can see how many millions of downloads
for sure.
the big publishers get. And so, I'm constantly looking for interesting shows for us to work with for advertising.
Okay.
And, we work with all the advertisers that you hear over and over and over again in podcasting, whether it's a home meal delivery kit or a mattress company or an eyeglass company.
Yeah.
Those are the types of ads that we do. And we found it to be really effective to where you want the host of the podcast to experience the product or the service before they talk about it and know that it's a fit. And so as a podcaster, you never want to do an ad for something you don't believe in.
Absolutely.
And you're like, well, I can't turn down the money. Well, if you do an ad for somebody and it doesn't perform well, that ad agency that represents that company is not going to come back.
Absolutely.
And your audience is not going to be happy that you're giving them an ad for something that they don't want.
Absolutely. I kind of tap into that a lot. I tell my listeners, I'll never discuss things that I haven't experienced myself or that I haven't gone through because I don't know. I can only voice my opinion on what I've seen, but I would much rather discuss how I got through it and kind of how I navigated life through that. So that makes a lot of sense. It makes it more authentic if you do it that way.
That's right.
Yeah.
There you go.
I like it very much.
Yeah. So is tonight the first night that you're experiencing the ARKAST
It is,
stuff?
and it's so crazy how I got here. A friend of mine, there was a posting for something, and she tagged me in it. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to step out on faith. And so I messaged Todd, and he was like, yeah, come.
Who was your friend?
Her name was Queena.
Okay.
She's a personal friend of mine.
There you
Shout out
go.
to Queena. And I was like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then another lady that I met just Facebook, we're both podcasters. She actually came to the podcast pitch contest and she won.
Katrina.
Yeah, Katrina. Yeah.
Katrina,
and so
yeah,
it was
she's
like,
awesome.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
amazing. So.
I was one of the judges.
Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
She's
I was
awesome.
rooting for her. I was like, you're going to do so good. I know you'll do good. And so it just kind
And she did. She did great.
So it's been great.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm
It's been a
excited
great
for her.
experience to be here. For sure.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
she has an amazing podcast for sure.
I listened to her latest episode where she talks about the excitement of winning. So
Yes.
it's great.
Yes.
It's really nice.
So is this your first event? I know this is year 2, right?
This is year 2. It's my first year
Okay.
at the ARKFest, and this is the 3rd day that I've gone to.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've met a lot of great Arkansas
Same. And I've only been here
podcasters,
for a few, an
yeah.
hour. So same.
and the people running the event are doing such a great
They
job.
are.
They're amazing, and it feels like a real little nice tight knit
Yeah, for
community.
sure.
Is being in podcasting since 2005, I've seen different groups of podcasters come together, and there have been different times. Like the early days of podcasting, there were a lot of podcasters in San Francisco. Like there were a lot of podcasting events in San Francisco in the early days, and a few in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And then when fiction podcasting came out, the Austin Film Festival put together a competition, and the people that came for that became thick as thieves.
That's
Like
so
they went to every event together, they partied together, they just hung out the whole festival together. It was really neat to watch that community develop. I'm kind of feeling the same kind of thing here, where all of these podcasters who have been
Absolutely.
in their own little worlds are now discovering other podcasters.
Yeah, and it feels good because for a long time I was like, I'm winging this. Like I don't know what platform to use. I don't know what editing software to use.
Yeah.
And I'm just YouTube and everything.
Yeah.
So being here, even for this short amount, I've learned so much already. So I know they're gonna have an event in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, that's coming
so
up
I'm gonna go.
later this month. That sounds really cool.
I'm gonna go.
I might go. We'll see. But there are a lot of podcasting events. The biggest podcasting event in the country is one called Podcast Movement that just happened in Denver, and they move it around. And then they also do a smaller version of it, usually around, I don't know, February, March, sometime like they'll do that in Los Angeles. And so it's a little more focused to media and entertainment, being in Los Angeles, but it's the same type of thing. For whatever reason, podcasters, for the most part, don't see each other as competition, and they're out
That's
there.
amazing to me.
It is amazing. They're out there helping, sharing information. They'll tell you what microphone to use.
Yes.
They'll tell you what headphones to use, and they'll tell you why they might use one thing over another. Like you might use one microphone in studio where you want a different one in the field if you're doing interviews, and then there's different editing software. Right now a lot of people are talking about Descript. That seems to be one that a lot of people like for different reasons. It transcodes the audio into text and allows you to edit just like you'd edit an email or a Word doc.
Right.
And so a lot of people are loving that. And you'll see different things come throughout the years where all of a sudden somebody will have some new benefit, some key feature that is really useful for podcasting. and there's always an ebb and flow to it, and there's always a new hot microphone.
Yes.
and
I'm on like number 3 now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great to see that, you don't need a lot of expensive equipment to get started. Just start with your iPhone.
That's where I started, with my iPhone, and then I got a cheap mic off of Amazon for like $30.
That's great.
And then I got one off of Shein that kind of clicked on me, and then I have another one that was gifted to me not too long ago. But I've seen the progression. It's amazing to kind of see how far I've come from episode 1 to now.
Now, what would you like to see happen with your podcast? What's the best thing that could happen?
I would like to reach more people. I'm not necessarily, it's not the financial side that I'm looking for. I know my story is to help a lot. It will help a lot of people. And so that's really what I'm interested in. It's kind of helping other people, because there's so many women that were moms at a young age. There are several men who were dads at a young age. And so that's kind of my reach there.
So is this for, what age group would you say is your target demographic?
So my target, honestly, when I check my analytics, I'm having 16 to 40-year-old women. And so I would like to stick with that range. And I know that's like, ooh, girl, that's kind of
not
hard,
at all.
but
No.
that would be my demographic. My mom listens and she loves it, and I'm like, oh mom. But
So there's a guest that I will put you in contact with.
Okay.
That I think would be good for you have on your show. And one of the things that I've discovered over the years, if you want to grow a show, you're really focused on growing, is what is the benefit that your podcast, whatever podcast you have, what is that benefit, and how can you front load that benefit into your artwork, into your show description, into your episode descriptions? And so what I mean by that is, let's say that you were doing a podcast about water sports. Nobody searches for water sports, right? But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But, well, maybe some people do, but that's something totally different. Anyways, surfing, jet skiing, water skiing,
scuba diving.
yeah. So put those keywords into Google. Has this tool called the keyword planning tool. It's part of Google Ads. I'm not saying to advertise on using Google Ads, but I'm saying take a look at this free tool.
Okay.
And there's videos that explain how to use it on YouTube. But take a look at this tool. Put those keywords in there. Like if you needed a new swimsuit, you don't search for swimwear. You would search for swimming suit, bikini, one piece, yellow polka dot. Yeah. And so you want to be specific on what those words are, but you put in, jet skiing, water skiing, surfing. You could put in water sports, and then you find out that hydrofoiling is the most searched for term. And you're like, oh my God, we need to do an episode on hydrofoiling, and maybe we change the title of our show to The Hydrofoil Show. Because you know that people are searching for that, and you know you're going to deliver on that
topic.
And when you're starting out, you don't have a big marketing budget. You don't have a network that's going to promote you.
Right.
So using search, and then once they get there, the first thing they're going to see is your artwork. And so if you have a water sports show and it just shows the ocean, that doesn't tell you anything, right? Sure. Ocean with the sunset. It's like, I don't, what? So show the surfboard or show the jet ski or show whatever it is. Have that iconic thing in your artwork. There's a show, I always tell this to people, there's a show called Shack House Podcast. When I first heard it, I was like, oh, Shaquille O'Neal's got a podcast. No, it's spelled different. It's spelled like an old rundown house. Oh, well, what's it about? I don't know. Let me type it in. Oh, it's a golf podcast. How do I know? It's got a golf ball in the artwork. So you use that iconic stuff. And well, people are like, oh, I have a microphone in my podcast. I'm like, that doesn't tell me what your podcast is about. It might tell me it's a podcast, but I want to know what it's about, and I want to know the benefit. And so if you can include that in your artwork, and then same thing with your show description. If you can front load the benefit of your show description so that you've got these keywords, and instead of writing the ABC podcast is a podcast about, you've wasted all those words. you need to front load it with jet skiing, water skiing, surfing.
Okay.
So immediately, I'm interested in those. I'll listen.
Good one to listen to.
This will be a good one to listen to.
Absolutely.
So that's my tip of the day.
So what do you think? So when I started off, I was kind of winging it on my episodes, and I found myself rambling quite a bit. So what I started doing was I kind of did an outline that kind of kept me on track, and I found that helps me out a lot. And
That's a great tip.
Track.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really good. It's kind of like when you're going on vacation, right? You need to have a destination picked out before you book your flight,
Absolutely.
before you book your hotel. And so it's just like doing an episode of a podcast. It's a good idea to know where you're going and then make sure you take all the steps to get there. So that's a good suggestion. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, any other questions for me?
What's your favorite number?
9.
9. Have you ever seen the Schoolhouse Rock number 9?
No.
That's your homework. You got to watch that one. Number 9.
Absolutely.
Number 9, Schoolhouse Rock. There you go. That's it. We're done. We're out of here.
a wrap.
That's a wrap.
I'm ready. Let's do it. What's happening, Ruby? How you doing today?
Okay, so I'm actually Dr. Ruby Bean.
Dr. Ruby, I apologize. She
yes.
got me right out of the gate, man. It's like, damn.
Okay, though. We work hard for those letters.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt.
Have a doctorate in nursing.
Okay, very cool.
So yeah.
So I got these heart palpitations going right now. You think it's just nerves because I'm about to go on stage, or?
You know what? It could be that, or it could be something serious.
I mean, I'm 51.
Oh wait.
I'm old.
Look, that's actually my background.
What?
Cardiac.
Oh, okay. Well, good. So if I stroke out, you're here.
Look, I'm here.
That's good. Okay. And where is here? Where are we at today? We're at the.
We are in North Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah.
The Innovation Hub.
This is actually a cool spot.
It is a very cool spot. I love it.
We're at the ARKAST, right? ARKAST Podcast Festival.
ARKAST Podcast
Okay.
Festival.
Very cool. So what brought you out here? I mean, how did you find out about the event, and what are you looking to get out of it?
So for me, I'm actually a board member.
Oh, okay.
And I actually have a podcast, but it needs some love because I told you my background is nursing.
Okay.
So when I started my podcast, COVID hit.
Right.
So I had to put something on the back burner, and
Sure.
that was it.
Sure.
So my podcast is Dr. Ruby Living Outside the Box.
Okay.
You like that?
I do like that. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
But I like to encourage people to just because you're older, you can still do great things. So I like the outdoors. I like to travel. I've written a book.
Okay.
So I do a lot of stuff, and I love community service. So I love giving back.
That's awesome.
But I'm here so I can help my friend because I think the ARKAST is something great, and it needs to grow in Arkansas. And if anyone can do it, Ty King can do it.
Well, I just met Ty, and I met him online, and I don't even know how we ended up getting connected. I think somebody referred us to each other or something, because, I've been in the podcast space since 2010.
Oh, wow.
And
You're OG.
I am, well, I don't know about OG, because all this kicked off in 2004, so I'm not quite that OG, but I've been around a day or two. So somehow I got connected to Ty, and I co-promote another podcast conference called PodFest.
Okay.
Which is it's the largest independent podcasters conference in the world. We actually have some Guinness World Records, believe it or not, the real certificates from Guinness for our virtual events. We had over 5,000 people at a virtual event over the span of 5 days. It was insane. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, and this happened during COVID because we had to do that pivot. Because we couldn't have our live event, so we had to do something. So we took it online and ended up 2 years in a row, set Guinness World Records, set one the first year, then came back the next year and beat it by over 1,000 people.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
Outstanding.
so we took that full opportunity, just like yourself, to grow during COVID.
Yes.
And actually, you're the second person that I've talked to here today that said their show got put on the back burner during COVID. So, and I find that to be interesting because what I've seen in the industry is that we had a phase of COVID creators where the podcast space blew up. I mean, we got over 4 million podcasts that were out there during COVID. Now we've tapered back down to, we're roughly 2.8 million that are out there right now, and only about 18% of those are active. I'm throwing some stats at you since you're a doctor, you can keep up. So most people look at me and go, what?
Hey, I'm following.
But I think it was interesting. So what was it about COVID that caused you to put it on the back burner versus throwing more energy at it during that, for a lot of people, downtime?
Because my profession.
Yeah.
in healthcare.
There you go.
So around 2020, when COVID hit, I also got a promotion.
Okay.
So the promotion actually, they say, okay, you're going to be director of clinical quality. But before you do that, I need you to go and manage a COVID ICU and a med surg floor.
Wow.
Where there was nothing but COVID patients, and I had nurses working under me, and it was like all hands on deck. And so the podcast had to go to the side because I was literally learning a new job while managing units during COVID.
Wow.
And I tell you, if you ever meet a nurse and they tell you they changed their profession, it was COVID.
Wow.
That made them change it, because we're used to healing people and getting them better. And during that time, you know, it didn't happen a lot. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's why that happened for me.
Way to drag the show down. Thanks.
I'm so sorry.
Appreciate that. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, facts are facts. You know what I mean? Facts are facts. So it's funny. I used to date a nurse, but that was a long time ago, and I don't know if she's still in the game or not. My wife probably wouldn't appreciate me reaching out and asking.
Oh, no. You better not do that.
I probably won't do that.
We might not see you again.
No, I probably just better stay in Arkansas and not go back to Texas. I'll tell you that.
Right.
Yeah. So, but no, I think that's interesting. So now you're getting fired back up with the show. You have an opportunity now to give it some more energy.
Yes.
Tell me the name of the show one more time.
It's Dr. Ruby's Tuesday, Living Outside of the Box.
Living outside of the box. So what box are we living outside of?
So, you know, now I don't want to get like sad and things because I don't want to take their energy, right? So
No, I'm about to go on stage here in 30 minutes, so I gotta
hurry up.
I gotta be hyped. So you
okay.
can't.
So anyway, when you have life-changing experiences,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So I had a life-changing experience. I had a brain tumor.
Okay.
And so I had that removed, and the doctor said just a little bit longer, and without it being caught, it would have been inoperable. So with that thought, I'm like, I could have been out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now it's like whatever I want to do, I do it. I had to actually tell my husband, you need to come on, catch up, because Ruby's about to live.
You gotta keep up, or you can just stay here.
Keep up,
One or the
stay
other.
home, get
Yeah.
on board. So
Wow.
it's really, I know some people are like, you need to decide what you want to do, but why can't you do it all?
Yeah.
Are there limits on what we can do? So I wanted to write a book. I wrote a book. Actually wrote 3 now.
Wow.
They're not big,
Right.
but I say you have to start somewhere,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
It might be some error along the way, but at least you started. And then I wanted to be outside and enjoy the outdoors. Guess what? Game and Fish Commission has this thing, becoming an outdoors woman. So now they got badges too. So I'm like
So it's official.
Look,
It's-
I'm like a grown Girl Scout.
I got my little badge.
Right, badges for hunting, trapping, fishing, all kind of stuff. So I'm like, I'm in there. So
That's
either way.
awesome. That's awesome.
And I try to encourage other people to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that I mentor and try to get them to, if you want to do it, what's holding you back? If you don't, you never try, you never do anything, you're sitting there, might be on your deathbed and you
Yeah.
never tried.
Yeah.
So why not? If you might mess up, go do it. At least you tried.
A friend of mine has a book called Start Ugly.
Hey.
And I mean, it's an amazing, it's just
Right.
it's a short book, super short book, but it's got a story of starting ugly and understanding the principles of it ain't got to be perfect.
That's right.
You just got to take that first step. That's right. So it's amazing to hear you living that life with what you're doing outside the box. And it's kind of interesting because I live by a very similar, mindset, because I was born with an inverted sternum.
Okay.
So I was supposed to check out by the time I was 4. And I was born in 72, so surgery wasn't quite as fancy as it is today.
Right.
But they still managed at 4 years old back in 76 to completely break my sternum and remove some ribs and move things around. And
Right.
I should have been gone.
And you're here today.
And I'm here today. So I kind of live by that same motto. I was real protected as a kid, but as I got older, I was kind of rebellious, maybe. Might have gotten a lot of trouble because I wanted to do everything, right? Because everybody's trying to protect me all the time. I'm like,
Right.
no, I can do it. I'm tough. I can do it.
Right.
And so I appreciate the way that you're living there. So
Absolutely.
one more time, think outside the box.
Yeah.
Or living outside the
Living
box.
life outside the
Living
box.
life outside the box.
That's
All
right.
Cool. We'll leave it there.
I was kind of raised Catholic, so I went to Catholic schools from kindergarten through 12th grade.
Okay. I know a lot of Catholics.
You do? Well,
I've gone to a lot of parties with them.
yeah, we definitely know how to party. We definitely know how to party. Yes, back in the day. I threw many homecoming parties back then.
Okay.
I big sports lover.
Okay.
Play basketball. Did you play sports?
I don't have an athletic body.
Okay,
in my body.
okay,
I don't know
okay.
how my kids are so athletic.
They
Their
are?
mom is not.
Okay, I feel that.
But I'm a fan. I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't dribble a basketball.
I thought I was going to go in the WNBA. I thought I was going to be the next Cheryl Swoops. I did injure my knee in high school. But I wasn't that good. I mean, looking back, I was not that good. But I ended up wanting to go to school for sports medicine is what I wanted to do. But this is kind of a fun story. Did not want to follow in the footsteps of everybody else that was going to Fayetteville. And so I chose to go out of state. I was like, I don't want to do high school all over again.
Yeah.
And when I went to Springfield, Missouri State, I partied so hard my freshman year that I got a 0.0 GPA my second semester of college. yeah. So mom and dad made me move back home. I did. But it was fun. It was good experiences to learn that. Moved back here. Have been here ever since.
Okay.
Got into education.
Okay.
So I spent 12 years at a charter school.
Okay.
Worked my way up. Never graduated college, which I pat myself on the back for that. That's work ethic right there.
I just graduated college like 3 years ago with my bachelor's, and I just got my master's. So like,
to you. Okay. Thank you.
no student loan debt for you.
That's true. That's the positive there. But yeah, I've been here at the Innovation Hub for 2 years now, and just love it.
So what is your role here?
So I came on, there's a workforce development program that had started up right in the midst of COVID.
Okay.
And it's dedicated for individuals that really want a career in something hands-on. So whether it's welding, we started with roofing, welding.
I did a lot of that at my last job.
Yeah, the beauty of it is it's all grant funded. So it's completely free for the participants.
Yeah. That's a good selling point.
It really is. Especially those that college might not be for them. You know, they learn better with their hands. And so right now I'm the program officer, senior officer for that program, and then I get to help with memberships here. Okay. So anybody that's curious about the hub that just wants to see the space,
pottery here, don't we?
We do.
I've been looking for a pottery. I made a whole
so much
post on
fun.
Facebook like, where can I do pottery?
Oh, girl. Okay, so my sister, after I got on here, my sister decided that she gets her, they call it the girl gang, and so she got all of her girlfriends in and just took over an entire class. And it was just, she brought champagne in, got a little charcuterie board, had a little, sip in, chill for a minute, and then they did their class together. So get your friends together, and it's super fun.
So what days do they come? So I know when to show up.
I know, right? Yeah, you should come with her. Let's see. She ended up bringing all the husbands ended up coming another time, and she said that they were so into it that they didn't even talk the entire time they were there because they were just like so invested in what they were making.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they took the cake on it. She just had a big dinner party, and they had their pottery mug reveal party. Yeah, it was super cute. Super cute.
So, I am from Royalton.
Okay.
I live in Conway.
Okay.
And that's about it.
Okay.
I'm a mom, and so my podcast is just me. I'm just now learning who I am. What do I like to do? Because I've been a mom since I was 15. So when my daughter went to college, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, like what are you gonna do
what
now?
do I do? Like my boys are 13 and 7, but they're boys.
They're doing their own thing.
But I'm like, they stink. They don't care about me. They rather be outside or playing Fortnite or something. So I'm like, girl, what do you like to do? And so it just kind of turned into me. It started as a vent session for me.
Okay, I really want to dive into this because I want to know how it started.
It started like I couldn't sleep.
Okay.
I could not sleep. And something was like, record. And so I literally sat at my kitchen table with a cup of tea. It was like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I recorded my first episode, and the sound quality was horrible.
I was about to say.
But it did so good. And people were like, Nicole, because my podcast title was Nicole, Please.
Okay.
And they were like, Nicole, keep doing that. And so that's what I've been doing. And it's a lot of bad words.
That's okay. PG-13, okay.
16.
Okay. NC 17.
But it's a lot of life lessons. I never discuss stuff that I haven't been through. Yeah. And I've been through a lot. So you probably hear, you'll probably catch on to something. That's cool. And it's just been an amazing experience.
That's so neat.
It's been wonderful. Yeah.
I have definitely I've always thought about podcasting. I've always thought it would be neat. I have a notes section in my phone of just different ideas. Yeah. One of them was, and I'm curious to know when you think about doing it, I even ordered microphones, not like this. They were off Amazon. They were $20.
My first one was my second one was from Amazon.
Okay. So I could maybe start with one of those. Yeah. But I guess it was to the point where you're supposed to upload it. I got so confused on where do you put it? How does that whole process work?
So I've always been really big on podcasts. I love podcasts. I listen to a lot of true crime, you name it, I listen to it. And so I would always hear them talk about Spotify for podcasts.
Okay.
And so I was like, let me YouTube University it. And so I did, and I did my first recording on Spotify for podcasters, and
that's it. Okay, so you just set it up through Spotify.
And I started recording on my phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can really make it happen.
Yeah, you can do it.
You want to hear some of my ideas?
Yes.
Okay, nobody steal these, okay, because I might get into it tonight. Okay, I'll trademark. Here it is. Okay, so and you tell me if you've heard these podcasts out here, because I'm sure they're already out there.
They probably are, but I'm not trying to get you off topic, but at first I was like, oh man, there are so many podcasts. I was like, there are, but everybody's not listening to one podcast.
That's true.
So whatever my audience is, that's going to be
That's what they want. That's what they want. Okay. So the very first one that I wanted to do was have friends on as guests.
Okay.
And it's all love and relationships related, right?
Okay.
So I wanted to take my guests through the journey of your childhood, right? What were your parents like? What was their relationship like that taught you love? And then take you through the beginning years, your elementary or middle school days of who was your first crush, right? And what was that experience like? And then we would do Rose Highway to 20s, right? And then it would be okay, well, where was that first real love experience as a, when you think you're an adult, when you're 20? And then, obviously even though it doesn't look it, I'm in my 30s now. But what does it look like as you get older and you've gone through those experiences, and what has all of that taught you to what you believe about love today?
Now, that's a really good topic.
Okay, there's one. That was one.
No, honestly, that's a really good topic because a lot, if you think about it, I say all the time, the way that you were raised and what you saw has a major effect on you in adulthood. That's right. I talk about that a lot. So that.
Okay. And then I just have different people that might have gone through a divorce, people that are recently married,
people that don't want to be married.
Yeah, exactly.
People that have been married 500 times.
Yeah, you got it.
At that point, you're the common denominator. You've been divorced that many times.
I mean, I want you to say it, but okay. Oh, yeah. That was the first one. Okay, so another one that I had recently, another idea was that, so I was in the dating game for a while, but it got to the point where I was so tired of dating apps. But in the experience, okay, well, what's funny is in the experience of dating apps, right? Because you have social media tied to it. And of course, everybody's first question, well, what's your Instagram? Do you have Snapchat?
Yeah.
And so you're handing that out. And when I would look at some of these guys' Instagrams, all of a sudden I would see the same girl liking this person, but then she'd also like this. And so I was like, oh, I wonder if she dated him too. So there would be I had the idea that I would reach out to these girls and be like, let's talk about so-and-so. We changed the name and I'd be like, tell me about so-and-so.
Give me the tea.
What was your experience like?
Give me the deets on the dude.
Deets
on the dude.
Because there's this new, I don't know if you know this Facebook group, but it's called Are We Dating the Same Guy?
There are those for every county in Arkansas.
Okay.
I'm like an old lady, the nosy lady, you come to my house, the blinds, that. And that's me in these groups. So I'll create fake